You ever spend time working on something, only to find out you built the wrong thing? Maybe you followed the directions perfectly, but they were for a different project. That's kind of what it's like with relationship troubles. They're putting in the effort, but speak in different love languages. We all express love uniquely. Dr. Gary Chapman recognized this. He wrote The 5 Love Languages to explain it. It's a guidebook to understanding love. This ain't just touchy-feely stuff. Not understanding love languages is like talking Chinese to someone who only speaks Spanish. You can yell louder, but it ain't gonna help. Frustration builds, and things go sideways fast.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.
Chapman broke down love languages into 5 categories: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Each one is like a different dialect of love. Most folks have a primary love language. Could be hearing "I appreciate you" or having someone lend a hand. Understanding these love languages is crucial. First up, we got words of affirmation. This here's the language of compliments, encouragement, and kind words. It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. For folks whose primary love language is words of affirmation, hearing "I love you" ain't just a nice thing. It's like fuel for their soul. And it ain't just about romantic love either. It's about appreciating the little things, like saying, "Thanks for taking out the trash, honey. I really appreciate it." Or maybe it's telling your partner how much you admire their work ethic or their sense of humor. Whatever it is, it's about expressing yourself genuinely and specifically. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Mike, talk is cheap, and you ain't wrong. Words without action are just that, words. But for someone who thrives on words of affirmation, those words hold a lot of weight. They're like little love notes that say, "I see you, I appreciate you, and I value you." Think of it like this. Imagine you're working hard on a project, putting in long hours and giving it your all. Now imagine your boss walks by, not even looking up from their phone, and just mutters, "Good work." How would that make you feel? Probably not great, right? Section 3, empty words fall flat. But now imagine your boss stops, looks you in the eye, and says, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you how impressed I am with your dedication to this project. You've really gone above and beyond, and I appreciate your hard work." Night and day, right? That's the power of words. They have the ability to build up or tear down, to encourage or discourage. And here's the thing. Even if you ain't the most eloquent speaker, even if you stumble over your words, the effort itself speaks volumes. It's like trying to speak a foreign language. The locals might chuckle at your pronunciation, but they appreciate the effort you're making to connect with them. All right, now we're moving on to acts of service. This love language is all about doing things for your partner, showing them you care by lightening their load. Think of it like this. Actions speak louder than words. For someone whose primary love language is acts of service, nothing says "I love you" like doing the dishes without being asked or folding that mountain of laundry they've been meaning to get to. It's about seeing a need and filling it, without expecting anything in return. Maybe your partner's been stressed out about a work deadline. You could offer to make him dinner, run some errands for him, or just give him a back rub to help him unwind. It's about being there for him in practical, tangible ways. Now, it's important to remember that acts of service ain't about being someone's servant. It's not about keeping score or expecting something in return. It's about genuine acts of love and kindness, done with a joyful heart. It's about making your partner's life a little bit easier, showing them that you're there for them no matter what. Think of it like a dance. You take a step, they take a step, you anticipate their needs, you support their dreams, you make their burdens a little lighter. It's a beautiful thing to witness, this unspoken language of love expressed through service. Section 3, the language of service. One of the things I love about this love language is how practical it is. It's not about grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's about the everyday things, the little acts of kindness that add up to something truly special. It's about making your partner feel seen, appreciated, and cared for. Maybe you notice your partner's car is low on gas, so you fill it up for him. Or maybe they've been complaining about a leaky faucet, so you fix it for them. These might seem like small things, but for someone who speaks the language of acts of service, these acts speak volumes. Section 4. Meeting needs with action. Here's the thing about love languages. It's not about you, it's about the other person. It's about meeting their needs in a way that makes them feel loved and appreciated. So, if your partner's love language is acts of service, don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Show them how much you care by doing something thoughtful and helpful. Trust me, they'll notice, and they'll appreciate it more than you know. Section 1. Treasures of the heart. Now let's talk about receiving gifts. This love language is often misunderstood, mistaken for being materialistic or greedy. But that ain't it at all. It's not about the price tag or the brand name, it's about the thought, the effort, the visual symbol that says, "I was thinking of you." For someone whose primary love language is receiving gifts, a thoughtful present is like a little piece of your heart that they can hold on to. It could be something as simple as their favorite candy bar, or a book you know they'd love. It's about showing them that you pay attention to their likes and dislikes, that you care enough to put in the effort to find something special just for them. Section 2. The thought behind the gift. It's not about how much money you spend, it's about the thought behind it. Maybe you see a funny coffee mug that reminds you of an inside joke you share. Or maybe you stumble across a vintage record of their favorite band. These are the kinds of gifts that speak volumes to someone who values receiving gifts. They're tangible reminders of your love and affection. And it ain't just about store-bought gifts either. Handmade gifts can be even more special. Maybe you write them a heartfelt letter, paint them a picture, or build them something with your own two hands. It's the effort that counts, the time and energy you invest in making something just for them. Section 3. More than material possessions. Now I know what you're thinking. Mike, I ain't exactly crafty, and I'm about as romantic as a rusty wrench. That's all right. The point is, it ain't about being perfect, it's about trying. Maybe you pick up their favorite coffee on your way home from work or surprise them with tickets to a movie they've been wanting to see. It's about showing them that you're thinking of them, even when you're apart. And here's the thing about receiving gifts. It's not about getting, it's about receiving. It's about feeling seen, appreciated, and loved. It's about knowing that you hold a special place in someone's heart. Section 4. The gift of presence. One of the most valuable gifts you can give someone who speaks this love language is the gift of your presence. Put down your phone, turn off the TV, and just be present with them. Listen to them, engage with them, and make them feel like they're the only person in the room. That, my friends, is a gift more precious than anything money can buy. Now, let's talk about quality time. This love language, it's all about giving someone your undivided attention. It's about being present, in the moment, with no distractions. For someone whose primary love language is quality time, nothing says, "I love you" like spending focused, intentional time together. See, in today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle. We're constantly bombarded with distractions, our phones, our jobs, our never-ending to-do lists. But for someone who thrives on quality time, all they really want is to shut out the noise and connect with you on a deeper level. It's not just about being in the same room together. It's about truly being present, putting down your phone, turning off the TV, and giving them your undivided attention. It's about having meaningful conversations, sharing experiences, and creating memories together. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to have a conversation with someone, but they're constantly checking their phone, looking over your shoulder, and just generally not engaged. How would that make you feel? Probably not great, right? Like you're not important, like your time and your thoughts don't matter. Now imagine the opposite. You're talking to someone and they're completely focused on you. They're making eye contact, listening attentively, and responding thoughtfully. They're not in a hurry, they're not distracted, they're just present with you in that moment. That's what quality time is all about. It's about creating a space where you can truly connect, where you can be yourselves without judgment or distraction. It's about going for walks, having picnics in the park, cooking dinner together, or just sitting on the porch and watching the sunset.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.
Section 4. Simple acts of connection. And here's the thing about quality time. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. It's not about going on lavish vacations or buying expensive gifts. It's about the simple things, the everyday moments that you share together. It's about making time for each other, even when life gets busy. All right, now we're getting to the final love language, physical touch. It's not just about the bedroom. Physical touch is a broader language. A hug, a pat on the back, holding hands. These gestures send a message of love and security. Think about it. When you were a kid and you got hurt, what did your mama do? She probably gave you a big hug and told you everything was going to be all right. That's the power of touch. Now, I understand that not everyone's comfortable with physical touch. Some folks are naturally more affectionate than others, and that's okay. But even if you're not a hugger or a cuddler, there are still ways to speak the language of physical touch with your partner. Maybe you make a point to kiss them goodbye before work, or you give them a back rub after a long day. It could be as simple as reaching for their hand when you're walking down the street, or touching their arm when you're talking to them. It's about finding small, meaningful ways to incorporate physical touch into your daily interactions. One of the things I find fascinating about this love language is how deeply it's rooted in our biology. When we experience physical touch, our brains release oxytocin, which is sometimes called the cuddle hormone or the love hormone. Oxytocin promotes bonding, reduces stress, and creates a sense of well-being. So, when you're physically affectionate with your partner, you're not just expressing love, you're actually strengthening your bond on a chemical level. Now, it's important to remember that everyone's different. What feels like an appropriate level of touch for one person might feel too much or too little for another. The key is to communicate with your partner, to understand their boundaries, and to find a level of physical intimacy that works for both of you. Section 4. Respect and understanding. And remember, physical touch should always be respectful and consensual. It's about making your partner feel safe, loved, and cherished, not pressured or uncomfortable. When you learn to speak the language of physical touch in a way that honors your partner's needs and boundaries, you're creating a powerful foundation for intimacy and connection in your relationship. So there you have it, folks. The 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Understanding these love languages can be a game changer. Communicate in a way that makes sense. Focus on what makes your partner feel truly loved. And here's the beauty of it. It ain't rocket science. You don't need a PhD in psychology to figure this stuff out. All you need is a willingness to learn and a desire to connect. Think of this knowledge like a set of tools. Just like you wouldn't use a wrench to hammer in a nail, you wouldn't use acts of service to express love to someone whose primary language is words of affirmation. You gotta use the right tool for the job. But here's the thing. They can give you a place to start. They can help you understand why your partner reacts the way they do, why certain things are important to them. And that understanding can be the foundation for rebuilding trust, for reigniting passion, for creating a love that lasts. See, relationships take work. They require effort, commitment, and a whole lot of patience. But the rewards, man, they're worth it. There's nothing like the feeling of being truly known and loved for who you are, flaws and all. And there's nothing like knowing that you have someone in your corner, someone who's willing to put in the work alongside you, to speak your language, to meet your needs, to love you unconditionally. So if you're looking for a quick fix, this ain't it. But if you're willing to put in the effort, if you're willing to learn and grow, to communicate and connect, then understanding the 5 love languages can be a powerful step on the journey to building a love that lasts a lifetime. Remember, folks, love ain't just a feeling, it's a choice. It's a choice you make every single day to show up, to be present, to speak your partner's language, and to love them with all you've got. And trust me, that's a choice worth making.